Hello, hello to everyone. I'm happy to be back. It's crazy how time is flying. It's again Tuesday. It's 20th of December. We are few days away from the Christmas day, Christmas evening and Christmas celebration, and a little bit more to New Year 2023. I can't wait to see what the next year can offer to us. But today is the Tuesday. And as always, it's a time for the webinar, a webinar related to global unit pay and FNT projects. I see you can hear me, you can see me, that's great. Let's move on to the next slide. As always, I'm here with you guys, Anete Martinsone, and I'm happy to host this type of webinars because I'm very interested to learn, to understand, to hear more and more information about this project and everything that goes around it. Because once we hear it once, for me, it doesn't work. I need to hear it many times. Because every time I hear the same information or similar information, I get to understand things better, more clear, and I'm able then to share this information with other people. I don't know how about you, but that's how I'm learning, and I know that. So that's why I decided to be as much into this project as possible, and one of the ways is to host such webinars. So yeah, let's move on to the next slide to see what's for the program, what kind of program we have for today. So today's program is why, how, and what. That's so simple, but a lot of times when we talk about projects, when we talk about anything that we do, we very much focus on the what part. Sometimes we think about the how, but we forget about the why. So we're gonna fix that. And in today's webinar, we're gonna cover all three these important parts: why we are here, how we are different from the others, how we are differentiating our products so that we would stand out in the market, and what is it that we are offering, what is it that we do, and what we have to offer to the world. But it's not going to be me who is going to be explaining these all important parts, because as I said, I'm still learning. I will invite, with no further ado, Aidan Ward. He is, I think, the best speaker in the company, alongside Valentin Sokolnikov. Let's not forget about him as well. But Aidan Ward is, I think, the best speaker in the English community, who is able to explain complicated things simple. Right, Aidan? Am I right?
Yes. I'll let you guys all know, and thank you so much for the warm introduction, as always. But you know, I come from very humble beginnings down in Melbourne. It's kind of like jamming a dictionary and a thesaurus in the one head, but I grew up basically around farmers. So we like to keep things very, very simple, have very hard and difficult comprehensive concepts, but to go and deliver it in a really easy to understand layman's terms so that everyone can go and you know, understand what we've fully got our hands on. But without further ado, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah.
This is the final webinar, by the way, this year. So please pay attention, get the most of it, ask your questions in the chat, in the question Q&A box, and at the end, we will be happy to answer all your questions. Okay, I'm disappearing, just for the bit.
Thanks, Annie. Everyone, give a big warm welcome, round of applause, sorry, for Annie Martinsone. She's gone and smashed it as always, and I'm so grateful to actually go and be here. Now, let's jump into the next slide. Guys, I want to go and get your take, all right, I want to go and understand from you. You know, we were talking a little bit about, you know, the why of global unit pay, why FNTs. And I would imagine that each and every single one of you either have got a GUP account or have also got FNTs in your portfolio, and you're here for these sort of webinars. So I want to see, what is the big why for global unit pay for you? Why did you decide that global unit pay and FNT would be the projects that really go and strike your fancy? No one? No one. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man? All right. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, get rid of traditional banks. Oh, I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Well, let me tell you a little bit about, you know, my whole why, right? Because I was very, very passionate about global unit pay right from the very get-go, when it was Marshall and Valentin, you know, doing the first product launch webinar. It's like, this is what we're going to do, a Swiss payment system, and it's going to be crypto fiat. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I dug a little bit deeper, and I was able to go and see that with the Swiss jurisdiction, with the fact that it's combining both crypto and fiat currencies into the one platform, and you were able to go and make these payments basically wherever you were in the world, aside from sanctioned countries, guys, this was an absolute no-brainer, because I trust Valentin. I trust the guys who were heading the ship for global unit pay. I don't trust my banks. I don't trust other exchanges. I don't trust a lot of other financial institutions, just because I know how corrupt it has gone and been in the past, and how much of a slippery slope it is for people to go from being very legitimate to then ripping everyday people like you and I off and taking all the wealth that was actually entrusted to these institutions. And a lot of this goes and comes to the problems on the market that, you know, where you see on your screen right now. You know, the fact that there's high rates and fees, you know, that we used to go and use a provider within our community to go and facilitate payments. And sometimes that was up to 15%. 1.5. There's no decimal place. It's after the 5. That is shocking. But that goes and really shows you that if there is a service that can go and be implemented, and there's sort of like a bottleneck and a stranglehold on what sort of services can actually go and be delivered, then, you know, these platforms are going to go and make the most of the opportunity and be opportunistic to go and include such high rates and fees, because you need to go and have their services in your platform, right? So we really go and compete against those institutions. Unsecure providers. Who here has got, well, everyone should go and already know the KYC process back to front. Do you know how many providers actually don't go and offer KYC? Do you guys know how many organizations actually don't go and have their needs met to the PCI DSS, which, if you remember from the first webinar we went and did, that was the card data standard for the world. All right, and even meeting the confidentiality protocols, keeping your identity and your private information under lock and key. That's what comes through being a Swiss fintech platform. Who's with me? Yeah, crypto accounts as well. Huge problems. We've all gone and seen the stories on the news where people are, you know, getting scammed out of all their Bitcoin scams, or, you know, they've got it on unsecure crypto exchanges that have just gone and filed for Chapter 11. And of course, global regulation as well is a huge one. You know, we believe that every individual should be able to have autonomous sovereign decisions on their finances, on their wealth, on, you know, their financial position. That is so important. And for so long, there have been overarching, you know, groups of people who have gone and put, once again, a stranglehold on the everyday person by dictating, you know, what you can and you can't go and use your finances for. Who here has tried to go and withdraw 100K or move $100,000 from one account to another account? Well, I mean, it'd be nice, but there is so much litigation, there's so much hoops and hurdles that you have to go and leap and crawl under to go and get that done. And really, they don't have the right. With Global Unit Pay and with FNT, we offer a solution to that by putting the control back in your hands. That's important. Next slide, please. So for us, it was really a no-brainer. And this is, I suppose, probably the evolution of where our beliefs have actually gone and come from. You know, originally, Global Unit Pay was only supposed to go and be the payment system that we were using within our community. It was to go and get rid of the competitors that have been ripping us off by 15%. So we did it a little bit cheaper. And then, of course, after a few months since the launch, Valentin went over to Moscow for one of the Tech Week conventions, just with a little pop-up stand. And he came back after that 1 week, and he's gone and said, we are going to the global market. And it's with that one pivotal moment that we actually go and have what we believe and our main why within Global Unit Pay and FNT. So for GUP, basically we believe in is that by ensuring our platform meets an international standard of security, availability, and functionality, we will have a world-class crypto fiat payment institution that ensures a thriving environment of globalized wealth empowerment without discrimination. Who here wants to see how we do it? Yeah, I want some love hearts. I want some fire emojis. I haven't seen any so far. You guys know that I live off all of this. Thank you, Tom. Great engagement. Thank you, Ian. I'm getting 1 love heart, 2 love hearts. All right, awesome. Next slide, please. Marlene with the 4 rocket ships. Amazing. Ruta, love your work. Everybody, get up a little bit. Just go and get some energy, get some, I know you might have gone and seen this presentation before, but this is the last one. You're not going to see us for 3 weeks, maybe. Like, let's go and savor the moment. Let's go back to that first time that we were actually doing the Global Unit Pay product launch and try and encapsulate and experience that sense of wonder all over again. I think that we often go and you know, have it fall into the back of our heads that, you know, oh, it's just GUP. No, it's just FS. Oh, it's just FNT. No, when you're telling people that's the first time that they're hearing it, and it's important that we go and are able to deliver that same sense of excitement that we once upon a time got on the very first time we even were told about Global Unit Pay. That's why I am always G'd up, because you never know who's going to actually have their mind blown for the first time. It's like, wait, you mean I can use this in almost every single country? Yes. What do you mean? We can go and do crypto transactions and fiat transactions? Yes. Oh, I can go and get a payment card if I'm in Europe? Yes. You mean your cards are linked to Google Pay and Apple Pay? This is amazing. How much do you charge for fees? Well, 3 Tron, which works out to be about 15 cents US. That's how much it costs to actually go and top up via crypto these days, guys. Just use Tron. So what we see here is basically the fundamental, I suppose, map of operations, the utility that we can all go and experience through Global Unit Pay. Now, we can go and withdraw and we can go and deposit fiat currency, whether it's Swiss franc, euros, or USD, that's going to show up in the platform, right? But it actually goes and does a conversion for you from your native currency. So if you're in Australia and you're depositing dollars, amazing, perfect. If you are over in Canada and you're depositing Canadian dollars, incredible. If you're over in India and you're depositing rupee into USD, great. If you're using, if you're over in Dubai and you're using the AED, that will go and show up as USD or Euro or Swiss franc. That is amazing. You don't need Western Union. In fact, I have a goal to actually go and get this out to Samoa and to Tonga so that their families who live in remote villages can actually go and send funds back and forth anywhere in the world, basically saving them so much money on fees with institutions like Wise, like Western Union, right? If you have remote communities who have to go and travel 4 or 5 hours to go and get to an institution just to go and top up an account and then send it to another country, get in contact with those people and show them that they can actually have a Swiss account for free. For free. Show them the basics of cryptocurrency. That's life-changing use cases. We have got it so good in the modern world where we can go and plug into a webinar, or we can go and receive phone calls from here, there, and everywhere. But there are literally millions of people outside in the world who would literally have their brain fall out of their nose if they saw this. Is everyone excited? Can you all see just how, and we've only gone through the multi-currency accounts. All right, the other one I'm going to go and tell you about is the OTC crypto exchange. Who here is scared to go and put their money or keep their wealth on an exchange at the moment? There was another one that went and filed for bankruptcy over here in Australia last week. The exchanges are dropping off like flies. They just keep on filing for Chapter 11, hitting into bankruptcy, right? It's scary. But you know what the solution to that is for those people who are wanting to go and still, you know, participate in digital assets in the crypto sphere? I'll tell you what, right? So someone could go and move all of their funds off of an exchange onto a secure, functional, and available platform that is governed by Swiss regulations, one of the top in the world. It's low on fees, and they can actually go and they can go and buy, or they can go and sell, or they can trade, or they can go and exchange, all within that one platform. You have stable coins, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum. Those are the three main ones. If you need to go in and make the most of low fees, you've got USDT Tron, Track 20, or you've actually got TRX on Global Unit Pay to go and facilitate those exchanges of cryptocurrency into assets like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, right? Now we take that all for granted because we just assume that it's part of GUP. But I encourage you and I challenge you to actually go and tell people during Christmas, tell your loved ones, tell the ones that have never even heard of Global Unit Pay, all of the information that I'm relaying to you right now. All right? The OTC crypto exchange allows you to go and enhance your financial position within the digital assets, within the one platform that is completely secure, like Fort Knox. You tell anyone who is a crypto enthusiast but has a little bit of doubt because they've seen what's going to happen with FTX, that's going to be one of the major objections to anyone investing in any digital assets right now, is the fear that goes and comes with, well, if I go and store funds on this, how do I know that it's going to actually go and work for me? Well, number one, we don't actually have that crystal ball, so we can't go and predict what's going to go and happen. But we can go and do our best to minimize and eliminate risks where we could go and have the rug pulled out from underneath us and be left holding the bag. Sound good? All right, cool. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm getting G'd up, guys. Can you feel it? Okay, so this is a great slide because this is what is going to go and encourage new people who have never gone and seen Global Unit Pay, understand the legitimacy of it, okay? We've got our address at 11 Uranienstrasse, 8001 in Zurich, right? When they go and ask about the regulators, SOFIT, FINMA. SOFIT and FINMA. SOFIT is our supervisor and FINMA is SOFIT's supervisor, if that makes any sense, okay? We are over 160 countries. We have over 50,000 registered users, and already we've got, I think it's a tick over 170 businesses now that have gone and actually opened an account with Global Unit Pay. And in that, ladies and gentlemen, in that, we have been able to go and amass over 40 million USD pulled through the platform, which has gone and given us a revenue profit of 350,000. So this is a very important slide. I don't want you guys just to go and get into the habit of like, oh yeah, I've heard this all before, da, 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 da. This is the importance of it. You need to know this information if you are attracting new people to come into the community. And why wouldn't you? It's free. It goes and safeguards the people who are nearest and dearest to us that we are actually inviting to Global Unit Pay or to Everreach. All right, for those people who were on the Global Unit Pay FNT webinar a few weeks ago with Armand and Valentin, right? Armand doesn't even talk about Everreach. He talks about GUP as the first thing. That is the first, I suppose, instrument within our ecosystem that is shown. And it's amazing for it. You can even go and say that in 2021, they were voted the world's best crypto payment provider in the world within 10 months of actually being publicly launched. Huge for a first year. Next slide, please. So let's recap for Global Unit Pay, okay? For banking, we're getting there, okay? You can go and get a personal IBAN account. You can go and get a business IBAN account, but you know, that's done through a third-party provider called Bank Frick, okay? There's another bank as well. I'll have to go and get the name of it from Valentin, but predominantly most of those accounts go through Bank Frick because they do both SWIFT and SEPA, right? And those are just two different bank accounts. SEPA is for Europe and Europe only transactions, and SWIFT goes and does basically the whole rest of the world. Cool. When it comes to exchange, we talked about the importance of OTC exchange, over-the-counter exchange, and even being able to liquidate those cryptocurrencies into fiat funds, which you could go and top up your Global Unit Pay card, you know, in which case you can go and use to pay for shoes, for hotels, for Christmas presents, for anyone who goes and drinks, you know, getting on the beers, you know, because it's the holiday break. You know, you can do that with Global Unit Pay. You know, for upcoming crypto projects who have got their own token but are struggling to go and find an exchange that'll actually go and take on their, you know, their embryo project effectively. It hasn't even properly got off the ground. You know, to go and plug into an audience of 50,000 people all across the world who are crypto enthusiastic, who are looking for new investment projects, because whether it's through Everreach or whether it's from outside, you know, customers and consumers who have come into Global Unit Pay and want the crypto and the fiat to be in the one platform, you know, that's important as well. So if you do go and see any anyone who you know who is actually starting up their own crypto project, then you can go and organize a sit down with Global UnitPay, with Unitex, with them, and actually talk to them about, hey, listen, what are your thoughts about listing onto, a payment system or listing onto Unitex? You have options. Don't just be limited by what you're seeing on these screens. If you think that you can go and further elevate and grow and make an impact on both of our platforms, on all of our platforms, then let's just go and, get the grunt in us to actually go and get some action happening, because this is all yours as well, And I'll tell you what, on the topic of listing as well, to go and tell this budding crypto project, who obviously would go and have a budget for listing, for marketing, for promotions, for growing their, their passion project, right? So that they can go and provide their users, or the first early adopters of their crypto coin, branded cards that are not branded with Global UnitPay, that aren't branded with FNT, that are branded with their own logo, their own branding. How much of a selling point is that going to go and do to make sure that that is a win, 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 win benefit for all? Win for Unitex, win for Global UnitPay, win for, the client, win for you, because you would always go and get a commission out of that as well. Like, the opportunities are endless. But above all else, the most important part, I think, of Global UnitPay is the fact that we are the custodians of those funds. We don't lend. Global UnitPay does not lend your funds. FNT, separate company altogether. It's just tied to Global UnitPay, but GUP does not go and loan your funds out. It's called fractional reserves, and banks only need to go and have technically 10% of what is actually been deposited that you keep in an account. They only need to go and keep 10%, and they'll loan the rest of the 90, which is ridiculous. All the while giving you not even 1% in some banks. Most banks, not even 1% interest. You're the one that's actually keeping their fever dream alive. But with Global UnitPay, we go and hold on to all the assets that you go and keep with us. Can anyone go and see that this is the way that it's supposed to go and be done? Who's with me? Thank you, Marlene. Awesome, Tom. Fantastic. Sure, Annie. All right. Next slide, please. Now, we've only just gone and covered Global UnitPay, all right? For those people who have been on our Thursday webinars, hey, actually, we'll get a show of hands. Who's been on the Thursday webinars? Love it, NASA. Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, we're only going to go and touch on a few things with FNT today. The last one for the year was last Thursday. There is a recording. Jump onto YouTube, have a little bit of a look, see if you did go and miss it. Next slide, please. We're only going to go and cover the most important parts of FNTs, right? Who here can go and tell me the two most important stats on, or actually, let's go and do three. What are the three most important stats with these slides? Can someone tell me one? Anete, can you tell me what is one of the three more important statistics on this slide? I'm going to put you on the spot. If you want to go and learn, this is how you learn. Marlene's got one. Yep, 20.3%. What's that? Yep, pre-sale, Birchie. Awesome. Good teamwork, guys. Oh, reserve. I would go and say that. Yep. Reserve would be the other one, which is what, Tom? 40%. Perfect. Now, the last one is the total supply. Oh, Valiamite, very close, very close. What the one that's really important is the 2 billion, right? Because that's what we've got to go and work with. Now, out of that 2 billion total supply, 40%, so 800 million, is going to go and be thrown away into an account for liquidity, for treasury, for reserve, so that FNT can go and do all of the amazing things, and they actually have some funds in the kitty in order to go and facilitate all the benefits that they're promising. Make sense? Now, we've gone and covered the 2 billion, and we've gone and covered the 40% treasury as to why they're so important. Why is the pre-sale so important? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me why the 20 point? Yes, Tom, perfect. The next number below the 40% reserve comes down to us. We get the most amount for the best price before anybody else. Before anybody else. Valentin has had to go and shut off his phone because people keep on asking about how do I go and get the FNTs? I want to go and get the FNTs. When are the FNTs going to be launched? When are they going to go and get launched? And because they're part of the private and the public sales, they're not getting into Everrich. You can only get into the pre-sale as an invitation only. That is, Marlene goes and speaks to her neighbor 3 doors down about FNT. They've hopped on a webinar. She goes and signs up under Marlene. Happy days, all right? You can't get into Everrich unless you know someone who's also in Everrich. Let's dial in that exclusivity. We get first look of the FNTs. We get the most amount for the investment value, and we get the most cut out of the entire supply. We get the largest cut reserved strictly for us. That is incredible. All right. We're also in charge of the FNT. We determine what goes and actually happens with it. Does it stay stagnant or does it increase? Now, I'm not psychic and this is not a forecast, but in my humble opinion, I can't see FNT going down based on the things that are in place. Don't take it from me. I'm just a normal guy who likes to get really, really passionate about the things that I'm a co-owner of, all right? But the way that it works, in my mind, what I see with the sustainable burning mechanism is that it's going to go and be at one price, and then people are going to go and start selling. But there's going to be a whole lot of upward pressure to further grow and further increase the value of the FNT. And we are in charge. Every time we use it, every time we spend it, every time we sell it, every time we stake it, every time we receive it as a reward, it goes and puts upwards pressure on the FNT. It also goes and grows our market. It grows the demand while the supply is continually dropping. That is incredible. That is a dream for any crypto savvy investor or just an investor to begin with. I can't remember who it was that told me. It's like you buy on rumor and you sell on news or something like that. It was very, very fitting as to, you know, what goes and happens with FNT, right? The other thing is that it's going to be one platform, one sell facts. Thank you, Virgie. So where was I going? So one platform for daily use. We were talking earlier about the dream to go and combine both crypto and fiat together. And there are similar sort of dreams with FNT and Global Unipay. In fact, they share the same CEO, so it makes sense as to why there are shared visions. We want to go and have the traditional financial services with the new contemporary, avant-garde Fintech, where only your imagination is the limits to what it can actually go and be achieved in the Fintech world. And we're putting that all into the one platform. So we get the best of both. And of course, the weaknesses of none, or that is the goal. Next slide, please. So to go and cover probably the 5 pillars of FNT. Number 1, the native token. That's the token itself. It's the fuel, it's the blood, it's the breath, it's the life force of the entire ecosystem. You've got the own banking options through the partnership with Global Unit Pay. Global Unit Pay goes and gets the Fintech license. FNT goes and gets the Fintech license. Guess what? They can go and issue out Swiss IBANs. That's pretty amazing, right? That goes and puts us a leg up over a lot of the other competitors. The 21,800 ICOs from 2 months ago. It's probably way up there now into the 22,000s. But guess who goes and stands out like a sore thumb? Us, FNT, Global Unit Pay, all of those. We stand out because of the services that we can go and provide and the benefits that we can go and provide that others only wish they could. That's us. All right. We've got lending and borrowing. And Tom, I know that you're not a fan of the LTV cash system, but the option is there and the opportunity is there. At least we have a safety net in case we need to go and use that option. It is completely optional. You do not have to go and do it. If that's not fitting in your financial plan that you've got and set up for yourself, then you don't need to worry about it. But for others who fall on the wrong side of life and who need a little bit of assistance, you don't have to go and sell your whole, portfolio just to go and make ends meet and then play catch up after. We've got earning and staking. More news and more updates will go and be provided next year as we inch closer and closer and closer to the launch, which is set to be around about the Q3, Q4 mark if everything works out. Please understand that FNT has gone and developed so much beyond its original concept. It's huge. And we've got a couple slides coming up shortly that I'm going to go and demonstrate that. So there is going to be earning, there is going to go and be staking opportunities so that people can go and increase and get ahead of their financial position from when they first went and started participating in FNTs. And of course, once again, probably last and definitely not least, probably the most important is the burning mechanism. And it's not just because of the fire emoji, all right? It is because this, coupled with the native token, can go and do what other tokens we've gone and had as a community haven't been able to go and achieve. And that is shifting the numbers from putting on so much downward pressure on the native token itself, switching it into an upwards pressure and constantly propping up so that the liquidity is constantly pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing the token until it becomes such an exclusive asset that we end up being very, very similar to the higher regarded coins in 5 to 10 years' time. That'd be pretty amazing. Who would love to go and see their own homegrown asset be in the top 100 cryptocurrencies in the world? I think everyone should be getting their hearts set on fire for that. Absolutely, Marlene. Yeah, amazing. All right. Top 10 NASA records. Oh, all right. I thought I was being a little bit optimistic, but okay. I was being a little bit realistic. Top 10. Here we go. Next slide, please. So basically with this slide, this goes and says that, and these are a lot of the cryptocurrencies projects in the past that have had huge potential, massive potential, but for whatever reason, haven't necessarily lived up to that potential. There are others that go and share a lot of similarities with what FNT is trying to go and what will be done, but there's a lot of other things that they haven't yet been able to go and achieve. So like with Crow, right? Their cards a few years ago were the talk of the town. Like here in Australia, we're about 5 years behind digital assets in Europe, right? It's just the way that our country is. We're isolated in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You know, we're a big continent, and we're only now starting to go and adopt cryptocurrencies like you know, Europe was doing back in 2017, 2018. So even here in Australia, we had a lot of the crypto.com cards, and they were the talk of the town. It's like, oh, look, this is, you know, it's metal, it's green. Oh yeah, mine's red, mine's metal as well. Oh yeah, cool, awesome. But if you got in at when crypto.com first launched, and you got an absolute boat ton amount of Kronos or Crow, then you were able to go and get those cards. But for those people who were a little bit slow to the party, crypto.com made it so difficult for the everyman, for mass adoption to even happen within you know, within their project. You know, you needed like 500,000 Crow for one card. It was nuts. And it went up from there as well. It wasn't even the higher end. There were a few others that were even higher. But with FNT, we want to make sure that it's focused on mass adoption. Every man, woman, child, as soon as they hit 18, from 18 all the way up to 180 can go and have access to this platform in a safe, secure manner that is simple to understand, so that everyone can go and use it. And there is a big enough supply of FNT to go and facilitate that for the entire globe. Maybe not the entire globe, but a fair bulk of the globe. We're not necessarily going to be getting that 70, 80% in the next, you know, 5, 10, 15 odd years, I would imagine. I would actually go and say that if we go and keep it modest at that 15%, is that we go and reach what's called critical mass. And then more and more and more people are actually coming in to, you know, because they've gone and bought on rumor, and then they're selling on facts. And we can go and take that sort of analogy the same, you know, we've bought on rumor, but we will go and get the most amount of benefit by selling on facts at a later date, when we know that it's gone and achieved everything that it's set out to. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Next slide, please. So guys, the whitelist, all right, this has been the case. This has been in the back office since the 20th July this year. That's nearly 5 months. And we've done a pretty good slog of it. I think we're tipping around about the 2.6, 2.7 million mark now. Awesome. Thanks, Marlene. But we can see now that there's only 130 20-unit packages left. After that, go and get either the hundreds or 250s to go and be remaining once the closure of the whitelist for Everrich, you know, goes and ends. Then that's going to go and be put into the pool for all those big investors that have been knocking on the door of FNT with money in hand, waiting to go and get their hands on it, to go and have, yeah, it's pretty exciting. Thanks, Evangeline, I appreciate it. But we need to go and make sure that we get as many of these as possible before it goes and gets shut down. There is no reason why that 20.3% that was allocated to us should not be dropping. Like, it should be dropping way below 10, 9, 8%. If we can go and do a bulk of that 20.3% in the total supply, Everrich Partners will be sitting very pretty once this thing goes to launch. Even if you guys want to go and organize, I suppose, syndicates throughout your community, you know, through a bunch of people, perhaps. I'm not exactly sure of the rules on that, but it is an idea. If you guys need to go and get creative, it's best to go and get these tokens before they run out. But of course, if you don't go and have so many funds available right now, because of course it's Christmas, it's New Year, the world goes and shuts down, all of that jazz. Next slide, please. We finally have installments. We finally have installments. Finally, we have installments, right? So we went and released this slide on Thursday last week, right? There have been 4,110 packages to go and be supplied, but we're sitting at 4,103 packages. So guys, really simple, all right? Whatever your budget normally is for investing in anything, right? Your 10%, your 20%, your 30%, whichever goes and fits your financial plan, ladies and gentlemen. Prioritize the FNTs. Make sure that you at least go and get the one down payment out of the installment packages, whether that is the 2,400 units. So you have, 1 month of 600 units, right? That goes and reserves your 77,276, so long as you make those payments over those 4 months, right? Or perhaps you've gone and come into an amazing summer or an amazing end of year, right? And you're like, you know what? I've got a good couple of grand. I'm just going to go and put it into FNT. I really do believe in this, and I will figure out the how later in order to go and get the rest, right? You can absolutely go and do that. In fact, it might actually be a really good idea, because if you can go and do so, you'll go and have yourself 377,775. That's off package number 7, right? For the 9,000, okay? Can you go and use, if you go and top up with crypto, I'll answer this one in a short minute, mate. Let me get to the end of the slides. So every single month that you go and honor those FNT installments, you will go and get, in this case for package number 7, 75,555, all right? And of course, if people are prioritizing getting the bigger packages sooner, they're going to go and have the faster growth of their FNT portfolio. Remember, guys, actually, I'm going to go and test you all, right? Why is it important to go and have more FNTs than not having FNTs? Let's go and say, Ian's got 10 odd Bitcoin sitting in his FNT portfolio, but maybe, or let's go and say $3,000 worth of FNTs. What membership package is he going to go and get? What membership package is he most likely to qualify for? Basic to silver, right? The basic to silver membership packages have got a lower interest rate and a lower reward rate than, say, the golds and the platinums, and even the blacks. Yeah, lending percentage as well, right? So this is why it's important to go and get as many FNTs as possible, so that you can go and increase the rewards that you're going to go and get when FNT is working for you. All right. Do you guys want to work for FNT now so that it goes and works for you indefinitely once it's launched? I should be seeing massive fire emojis, massive love hearts, massive rocket ships, Marlene. Come on, those should go and be trigger fingers. Awesome. All right, next slide, please. Thank you, Marlene. All right, so I would like to go and welcome back to the floor Anete Martinsone. Kind of got on a little bit of a passionate rant about FNT and global unit pay. And thank you so much for your attention, guys. And I'll be back in a short minute once I've gotten and had a drink.
Yeah, Aidan, thank you very much once again. Perfect presentation. Get some sip of water. You must be thirsty after such a great after sharing so much information. So take a phone, guys, and picture this QR code, because it will take you directly to the FNT website. It's needed and it has to be in handy for all of us whenever we want to share this project with others. We need to have the tools around us. So take a screenshot, save it on your phone, or take a screenshot of this QR code, and whenever someone wants to know more about it, you just show the QR code and they can screen it with their phone. But yeah, did you like the information shared today by Aidan? Every time he does it, he shares different share different examples, explaining from the different angles with the different situations, which is great. It means that we are real. We know what we talk about. Aidan knows what he's talking about. He has a lot of information, great experience, and we need to learn from this type of people, who is sharing from experience rather than by the book, right? It's good to know what's written in the book, but the best is when you're sharing from your experience. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. I'm sorry, I have a baby again next to me. Every time I have to do the webinar, I have a team here sitting and watching me. All right, go to the roadmap, Aidan. Did you put this for me to share?
Well, I mean, I think that this goes, and actually, let me skip this. So that this is the original roadmap, right? This was when it was only going to go and be use cases as a utility token on global unit pay. That's all FNT was. And then Alex and Mila and Valentin and different Eugene, not Eugene from Stowbox, different Eugene, all got their heads together and said, well, why don't we just go and do, really, go after this? Why don't we just go and do everything all into the one? So, to go and see that we've gone and been given extra time because of FNT's evolution over the last 5 months of development, we can go and see that, all of Q3 was met, everything that was on here all met. Q4, there's a little bit of the technical implementation is delayed. The partnership network has been delayed until, I think, Q1, Q2. The MVP network is going to go and be delayed as well. And the marketing campaigns, as well as the closure of our whitelist sales round, that's all been pushed back until next year. Next slide, please. So I encourage everyone to actually go onto fntworld.io. If you guys just went and did your QR code, look at the white paper, the new roadmap is actually towards paper and shows the inception from 2019, 2020 of global unit pay, and also the evolution to FNT's launch next year, Q3, Q4, right? Of course, the exchange listing for tier 1 and tier 2 exchanges is still sitting at 5 cents a pop. But everything here, we have to look forward to. Guys, we really have this to look forward to. I mean, let's go and count all of the amazing projects that are actually coming into realization in 2023. We have the all-important STO, yeah. Crew is being repurposed, yeah. FNT is going to go and be launched, yeah. All right. We've got Dragon Man as well. That's also happening next year. Like, everything is coming together, guys. All the hard yakka that we've gone through in the last 24 months, we got through it. This is what we have to look forward to. Yeah, Annie's jumping out, doing fist bumps like an absolute champ. Shout out, Annie. But this is, I find it very, very fitting that we're actually here on, a few days from before Christmas, actually saying, like, guys, out of everything that you've gone and got within your, I suppose, portfolio, within our ecosystem, what would you like Santa to actually go and give you in terms of the launch next year, right? What is Santa's gift that would go and be the gift that keeps on giving? In the chat. All right, next slide, please. Okay, now I'm going to go and handball off to my amazing partner in crime. Annie, I'm not going to go and interrupt you anymore. Thank you so much.
I thought you were about to test me, how much I'm learning from you, but thanks. So the next steps are very simple, and we need the next steps because sometimes, we hear the information, we love the information, and then it's like, okay, I'm going back to do my stuff. But there are next steps in order for us to grow bigger, grow globally, and get more community to know, more people to know about what we do and grow our community and the project in general. So the next steps are to do the due diligence about the project. I'm sure you all know a lot about the project, but maybe you have missed some information. Maybe we need to reread the white paper. Maybe we need to go back and watch some different webinars done by Valentin in the past. I don't know. Just think what is still missing for you to get the full picture of this project about the global unit pay and FNT, and what is still in your concern. So what are your questions, or what is still not clear, so that we know how to help you guys to understand this information today in today's question Q&A part, or in the next webinar which will be next year in January. And the same time, same thing do to your new partners who hears about this project. Give them the opportunity to learn more about it. Share 2 websites, global unit pay website, FNT website, and show them where they can find what they're looking for. Normally, whenever someone tells me I need to look into the project more and I need to do some due diligence, I always ask what sort of questions you are looking to find, what kind of questions or answers you want to get from your research. And then on the meeting, they're already asking the questions which either you can answer, or you can show where to find the answers, or you can get the answers for them. So yeah, this is what's important. And then decide what participation you want to go for, basically what package you want to go for, what suits you the best, and the same do to your partners. All right, don't point to which package they have to go for. Let them decide. If they can't decide, you know what to do. Direct them to the 8 rules of private investor. All right, we don't make decisions for other people. We just don't do that. All right, we are not probably licensed to do that, and we shouldn't do that. Let them decide by themselves. I always say what you are comfortable with. And then direct them to another free webinars, which we are doing for you and your partners. So we all know that one webinar is on Tuesdays, another one is on Thursdays. During the webinars on Thursdays, we 100% focus on FNT, inside out, explaining more about it, because I think in one webinar it's difficult to explain everything, and too much information is not good as well. And then share this opportunity with your friends, with your families, and let your partners do the same. Who else would be interested to get this opportunity? And then see what they have to say. And as a bonus, we get to open a global unit pay account for free instead of paying $9,000. I think that was what I saw on a Google. This is the amount that normally you would need to pay to open to open in Switzerland the account, around $9,000. Here you get it for free. You don't even have to go to Switzerland to open a bank account. You can do it online. This is, I think, an awesome opportunity, especially for those who are into business, who have business accounts, those who are in a crypto world and do a lot of tradings and things like that. I think this is a perfect opportunity for you, for those people. Also, you can get access to the Average Marketing platform and build a business from the scratch. If you don't want to be just a client, but to be, active partner, then you have all the options, and you can get the access again to different webinars, which we are organizing, not just for the global unit pay and FNT, but also for the average and MLCI business. Very simple steps, very straightforward, nothing too complicated. We try to do everything simply. That's it for today from the general information we wanted to share with you guys today. I guess now is the question Q&A time.
Well, I mean, Georgia, I'm not sure if you're going to, I suppose, understand what I'm saying, because I'm saying everything in English, but he asks when the webinar Zooms are going to go and be in Italiano. Well, it's very simple, guys. Where we're at right now is that we need people to go and step up. So if you are bilingual in English and any of the other, 37,000 languages in the world, and you know that you can go and do a little bit of translation and it will actually go and provide you with big benefits for growing your MLCI business or growing your country's community, then if it's gonna be, it's up to me. We have to go and take the initiative, because for the last 18 to 24 months, as I mentioned in a couple of slides ago, is that we haven't had the best run. And unfortunately, commerce isn't free. Unfortunately not. So we have had to go and basically say, look, we're happy to go and supply the slides to anyone who speaks English and also another language and wants to go and do the presentations themselves. And that is free information. So I hope that goes and answers the question, Giorgio. Basically, if an Italian leader goes and speaks to Anete or myself, we're happy to go and liaise and work with you guys to go and have the slides all translated. Trinidad, when can we order the new cards? For FNT, cards are set to go and be discussed, I think, Q3, Q4 next year. When it comes to getting cards out of Europe, good question. For Global Unit Pay, it's a really, really, really good question. Basically, the whole issue with it is that the card manufacturers that we are now using are doing things very legal. So the old card factory that we were using, which I can't go and say their name of course, was supplying cards outside of the European Union, which of course is illegal based on their regulatory, I suppose, constraints and rules and laws as to what sort of services they can go and offer. So it's a little bit of a, it's a tedious sort of thing to navigate, because our new card factory is amazing. We can do wood cards, metal cards, plastic cards, gold cards, platinum cards. The card options are like a kid walking through, a toy store, right? But it's just about trying to go and find other options for other jurisdictions and other countries. And that will take time, which is, it sucks, but it's better to go and be doing things the right way and make sure that we are doing it the right way and taking a little bit longer than, basically risking all the progress that we've gone and made over the last 18 months because we've been shut down because we didn't go and abide by regulations. So that's basically the answer. 2023, I've got my fingers crossed for it, but there won't be anything this side of Christmas. Now, Tom, you went and had a question before, and I said that I'd go and answer now. What was your question, mate? Let me just find it.
Can we use our credit card again to pay?
Here we go. So you can go and use, so the issue is that quantum clearance can't go and facilitate payments at the moment. So we're in the midst of trying to go and sort out a payment gateway to go and process payments via cards. So the best and easiest way, because I know that you are a leader, even though you say that you're not a leader, you are absolutely a leader because you always are doing work within the community and making sure they have the right information. Go onto an exchange, buy tracks, go and get yourself some units, right? And then go and facilitate the payments from the people who are wanting to go and invest. They can go and make a transfer to you. You can go and make the transfer into crypto, and those crypto can go and be put into your global unit pay and then shifted into their global unit pay once it's verified. It's a very long way around doing it, but this is the only way that we can right now, unless they're wanting to go and deposit via IBAN, in which case the fees can go and get pretty up there if it's a small amount. For any time that someone's depositing more than, say, a few thousand euros or a few thousand USD, it's best to go and use the IBAN because it's quicker, it's safer, it's secure, it's great, done, awesome. But for any amounts below that, then your best bet is to go through Tron into global unit pay, and then afterwards you'd be able to go and liaise for unit exchange and whatnot, you know, to get them into their back office. Is FNT considered a security? No, absolutely not. It is an IEO. So because because it is a utility token, it's not an STO. Therefore, it is completely under different sort of rules and regulations and different, I suppose, paradigms, types of digital assets than what our STO is. It's just a utility coin similar to UNTB in nature, but it can go and do immeasurable amounts of things by the way that it is going to be used to stimulate the ecosystem. So I hope that goes and helps. It's kind of like, you know, what would be the best way to go and describe it? No, I'm gonna have I'll think of a new analogy for the new year, I reckon. Yes, Anders, I do think the SEC would agree with that 100%. All right, well, I think that this goes and marks the end of today's presentation. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. I know right now is a very stressful, you know, joyous time of the year, but we had 55 people go and dedicate a full hour and a bit to getting all the latest information and the freshest take and the final take of both Global Unipay, FNT, and of course the FNT ecosystem before the year's end. So I would like to go and thank each and every single one of you for 2022. You guys have been amazing. And like I said, we are all in this together and we're just getting started. It is going to be the most exciting 12 months that I can go and remember in my short time on this planet in 2023. And I hope that you guys all are there with us, linking arms as we march towards the new economic evolution of the world. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Annette, did you want to go and say anything?
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you, Aidan, for agreeing to do this type of webinars together with me. I know you do the most of the job, but yeah, I think this was needed and I hope it is useful for you, for everyone who is watching us. We will continue to do that even in the next year, as long as we need to do that, as long as we feel we can give you the value, we will be here for you guys. And yes, I also want to wish you thank you, Chris. It's a Christmas time, right? In 4 days time we will have the Christmas Eve and the first Christmas. Things are difficult, as Aidan said, and we don't even know what to expect from next year. But the thing is, like, we can expect the things which we create in our minds. So everything starts with us. Remember, I know everyone keeps saying that, but it's true. You know, you can create your own environment. You can create your own world with your own people. And that world can be happy world. It can be, I know, joyful life, and the environment. It's you who choose where to be and who to listen, with whom to spend your time with. So just look around you, and if you feel upset or sad, think, what kind of people you have around? I'm positive, I'm happy, because I have the same type of people around me. So, and I'm trying to inject everyone else to be happy as well, and to create your own internal world within the world. And that's the best part. There are challenges, and there will always be these challenges. We cannot make them to disappear, even we wish to. We just have to live with that, and think about these things positive, and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine for those who believe. It's a miracle time, and it's not just a miracle time during the Christmas. Miracle time happens every day. So don't focus only on this period to wait for the miracles. Miracles happens because we make those miracles. No one else. So thank you very much, guys, for being here, and wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, when do we want to let everyone know when we're going to be back?
Oh yeah, of course. Why not?
October next year. See you guys. We're off. No. We've gone and done a lot of thinking, and just based on time zones and movements over the next month, we will be resuming, starting with the Tuesday webinars on the 17th of January. Same time, same place, maybe with a few different slides. But in any case, I'd like to go and also thank Anete for, being an amazing contributor towards, these webinars. And of course, thank all of the webinar organizers. Yulia and your team have gone and done amazing this whole 12 months. And of course, all the translators and personnel behind the scenes who go and make these sort of events happen. So without further ado, 17th of January, see you here, same time, same place, same smile, more energy, and hopefully pack this room out, guys. We have a full limit of, I think, 500, maybe 1,000. God, I would do anything to go and have 1,000 people in this Zoom room. So I believe it in your very capable hands. Stay happy, stay safe. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you in 2023.